Okay, well, welcome to this September Community Outcomes meeting. We have a few main items today around complaints and conduct, a report on the customer contact centre, call handling, one on the use of force by tactical by police officers, and one around neighbourhood policing, community cohesion, and then finally around stop and search. So we will try and get through these as expeditiously as possible. I'm Mark Burns-Williamson, the Police and Crime Commissioner for West Yorkshire. Jane?
Yeah, Jane Sykes, the Interim Chief Exec here at the Office of the Police and Crime Commissioner.
D. Collins, Chief Constable, West Yorkshire Police.
Simon Bottomley, Detective Superintendent, Deputy Head of Professional Standards Department.
And Tim Kingsman, the Assistant Chief Constable for Operations Support.
Okay, thank you for being here today. So the first item on the agenda are the notes of the previous meeting. Are there any matters arising from you on those? In terms of the actions, a number of those were agreed. They've all been completed, other than a request for some further information regarding a report on the Child Rescue Alert Scheme that was piloted, and really that's ongoing in terms of getting more information. Okay. Number 2 is Police and Crime Commissioner urgent items. I will raise one that's certainly come to my attention more prominently in recent times, and whilst it's not an immediately urgent one, I think it's worthy of mention, and it's really in relation to the increase in casework and contacts I have been receiving, particularly around issues of homelessness and street begging in city centre, town centres across West Yorkshire. And whilst I accept this is clearly a partnership issue and not just one for the police, I just wanted to flag that certainly, it is on the increase with regards to the number of cases that have been referred in to this office through councillors and other organisations based in cities and towns in West Yorkshire. So I won't sort of add more than that at the moment, other than to say I think we'll probably need to discuss a potential sort of update from a policing perspective, but what we might want to consider in terms of a partnership event or approach regarding what are the actions that each of the districts are looking at there. And I accept that some of it is to do with other services and solutions that need to be in place with regards to referrals and pathways for some of these people that are clearly, many of them I suspect, involved in substance misuse or alcohol issues, or indeed if some of them are there aggressively begging when clearly they don't need to be. So there's a range of issues, but I thought I needed to just mention it under that item, D, because it is something that's definitely on the increase with regards casework.
I think what would be really helpful, Commissioner, is if between us we could scope out what is the provision that is available in each of our cities, because I do think that is a fundamental factor. So, for example, right now here in Wakefield, there is extremely limited provision, particularly out of hours. So I think to actually be able to map out what that provision is would be really helpful in the first instance. There are separate issues from those who are exceptionally vulnerable, rather than those who are perhaps genuinely exploiting the position at the expense perhaps of others. We are aware of the fact that, for example, over in Leeds, there is a huge initiative at the moment trying to better understand what the issues are and what support can be given.
Yeah.
So you're right, it is complex, and I do think it is an issue that we should have a better understanding of.
Yeah. So we will obviously discuss this outside of the meeting and agree a way forward. There are, as you know, a number of business improvement district organisations now in place in each of the cities and towns, and they pursue something called purple flag status, which is around, you know, having a sort of safe and vibrant town or city centre. But clearly, some of the businesses are concerned regarding some of the contacts we've had as well. So we will take that forward with some urgency outside of this meeting.
Yeah.
Thank you. The next item then is just regarding any Police and Crime Commissioner announcements. I will just mention that this week we are hoping to complete some bids into what's called the Early Intervention Youth Fund. This is a pot of £22 million that was announced over a 2-year period by the Home Office a few months ago, and we've been working hard through the office with colleagues in West Yorkshire Police and other organisations, local authorities, to look at some joint bids. So we will be looking to submit those this week, just before the deadline.
Yeah, indeed, yeah.
Okay. And then the other thing worthy of mention, I think, is there is a consultation out at the moment regarding probation and the community rehabilitation companies set up by government, and certainly not only myself as the West Yorkshire Police and Crime Commissioner, but a number of other Police and Crime Commissioners are very keen to engage to actually suggest to the Ministry of Justice, who are carrying out this consultation, that what they are proposing doesn't go anywhere far enough with regards to the changes that were made a few years ago. So we'd be very happy to share those submissions with you, but we are pushing very hard with the Ministry of Justice to look again at what the future arrangements might be, because the current contracts now run out in 2020, having been brought forward because of the problems with the current contracts. And I think there is a general view, and certainly my view, is that the privatisation of those of the probation service in that regard with the CRCs hasn't worked, and it should be put back together as a unified probation service. So that is my view, and I know a number of other PCCs have that same view, but it's really just for information, because this gets raised with me at various meetings that I attend, and it is important we try and reflect some of those views as well. Okay.